Hi everyone, welcome to The Gentle Reminder. This channel exists to share real stories, real emotions, and gentle truths about life, family, and the people who shaped us. Here, we talk about the things we often forget to say out loud, the feelings we carry quietly, the moments we overlook because life feels too busy. This is a space for reflection, understanding, and compassion, especially for our parents, our grandparents, and the loved ones who gave us more than we ever realized. If you've ever missed someone while they were still alive, if you've ever wished you had been more patient, more present, more gentle, then you are in the right place. Take a deep breath, slow down with us, and let this be your gentle reminder. Let's begin and listen. They smile when you call, they say they're okay, they tell you not to worry. But what they don't tell you is how quiet the house feels after the call ends. They don't tell you about the long afternoons, when time moves slowly, and the walls feel heavier than usual. They don't tell you about the small pains they ignore, or the worries they carry alone, because the last thing they want is to be a burden in your busy life. They learned long ago to hide their sadness behind strength, to answer, "I'm fine," even when they're not, because love, to them, means protecting you, even now. And the truth is, they don't pretend they're fine for themselves. They pretend they're fine so you won't feel guilty for being far away, so you won't worry, so you can keep living your life. But behind that gentle smile is a heart that misses you more than you know. Stay with this story, because what they hide is something every child and grandchild needs to understand before it's too late. After the call ends, the phone is placed gently on the table. The room grows quiet again, not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the kind that reminds them how much time has passed. They sit there for a moment longer than they need to, sometimes smiling at nothing, sometimes staring at a wall filled with memories. They think about the days when the house was loud, when footsteps ran across the floor, when laughter filled the rooms, when they were needed every single day. Now, they tell themselves to be strong, because strength is what they have practiced their whole lives. They don't complain about their aching knees. They don't talk about the sleepless nights. They don't mention how the silence feels heavier as the years go by. They say, "I'm fine," because they don't want to interrupt your busy life. They understand that you are building a future. They understand that life moves fast, so they make themselves small in your worries. What they don't realize is that you would choose them if only you knew. They pretend they are fine because they love you, because love, to them, has always meant sacrifice. Even now, even in old age, they are still protecting you from guilt, from worry, from pain. But inside, there is a quiet longing, not for gifts, not for money, not for grand gestures, just for time, for presence, for a little longer conversation, for one more visit, for one more ordinary day together. They miss you in the smallest moments, when they cook too much food out of habit, when they save stories they don't know who to tell anymore, when they sit in the same chair at the same hour, hoping the phone will ring. They don't say these things out loud, because they don't want you to feel bad, because they don't want to seem weak, because they believe love means enduring quietly. But here is the truth every child and grandchild needs to hear. You are not a burden to them. You are the reason they endure. Your presence matters more than you know. Your voice brings comfort. Your time brings meaning. And one day, you may wish you had stayed longer, called more often, listened more patiently. So if you can, reach out today. Not because something is wrong, but because love doesn't need a reason. They may say they're fine, but what they really want is you. There is a moment many grandparents experience, but rarely talk about. It's the moment they realize the world no longer waits for them. They wake up earlier now, not because they want to, but because sleep doesn't stay as long as it used to. Mornings are quiet. The day stretches wide, with nowhere in particular to go, so they create small routines, watering plants, folding the same blanket, sitting by the window, just to give the hours a shape. They used to measure time in responsibilities. Now they measure it in memories. They scroll through old photos slowly, pausing on faces that are older now, lives that have moved on. They feel proud. They feel grateful. And sometimes they feel invisible, not unloved, just unseen. When they say, "I'm okay," it's not a lie, it's a choice to protect your freedom, a choice to respect your distance, a choice to let you live without carrying their loneliness. What many people don't realize is that grandparents don't fear being alone as much as they fear being forgotten. They don't want to be a responsibility. They don't want to be another task in your busy schedule. They want to be remembered as they were, strong, capable, dependable. So they hide the quiet moments when the house feels too big. They hide the pauses when their thoughts linger too long. They hide the fact that sometimes they speak out loud just to hear a voice. And still, they are grateful for every call, grateful for every visit, grateful even for short conversations, because they understand that life moves forward. But here is something important. Gratitude does not erase longing. They can be thankful and still miss you. They can be proud and still feel the absence. They can love you deeply and still wish, just sometimes, that you would stay a little longer. They don't need perfection from you. They don't need constant attention. They just need to feel remembered, not as a duty, but as a place where love still lives. And perhaps the most painful part is this: they will never ask for more, because asking feels like taking. So instead they smile, they say they're fine, and they wait. And one day, without warning, something shifts inside you. It might be a short message you almost didn't send, a call you nearly postponed, a visit you planned for next time. And suddenly, you realize how fragile later really is. Because time doesn't announce when it's taking something away. It just keeps moving, softly, steadily, until a place that once felt permanent begins to feel distant. Your grandparents don't need you to fix their loneliness. They don't expect you to stop living your life. They don't ask for promises you can't keep. They just hope, quietly, that you will remember them while they are still here, that you will choose presence over convenience, that you will listen even when the story has been told before, that you will sit beside them, not to fill the silence, but to share it. Because love at this stage of life is not loud. It doesn't demand. It doesn't chase. It waits. And the truth is, you don't have to do something big. You don't have to say something perfect. You don't have to stay forever. Sometimes love is just staying a few minutes longer, asking one more question, making one more call. Those small moments become the ones that stay. So if you're listening to this right now, let this be your gentle reminder. Don't wait for guilt to teach you what presence already can. Don't wait for silence to make you miss a voice you still have access to. They may say they're fine, but what they're really saying is, "I love you enough not to ask for more." And loving them back is simply choosing to show up while you still can. Before this video ends, take a moment to sit with what you've heard. Think about the people who once held your hand, guided your steps, and loved you before you even knew how to love back. They don't need to be remembered loudly. They don't need grand gestures. They only need to be remembered while they are still here. If this story resonated with you, please like this video so it can reach others who may need this reminder too. Share it with someone who still has a grandparent they love, or with someone who might need a gentle nudge to reconnect. And if you'd like to hear more stories like this, about family, aging, and the moments we often overlook, subscribe to The Gentle Reminder. This channel exists to help us slow down, reflect, and love a little better while we still can. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for listening. And thank you for choosing kindness today.